Welcome to my little corner of the internet. I'm Aisha, and on this channel, I want to share the slower, softer parts of life that's journaling, books, creativity, travel, and all of the little things that make ordinary days feel special. Today, we're taking a little trip back to Armenia, but through paper. So this is a journal I took with me on the trip. It's this beautiful moss green leather journal, and honestly, I think I may have become slightly emotionally attached to it just because of its color. I've added a few charms because apparently a journal cannot be a journal without the accessories. And I've also added lace along the sides because lace just makes everything better. And I also have this little locket right in the center. It is completely empty at the moment. I have no idea what picture I'm going to put inside it, but I'm choosing to believe that it is poetic rather than procrastination. Maybe I'll just put a tiny photograph from Armenia in there. Inside the little pouch, I kept the tiny pieces of the trip that I wanted to save, like the tickets from the monuments, little scraps, and my boarding pass. Things that would normally end up at the bottom of your handbag. And these are the pages of my journal. I wrote these poems sitting at the meadow about sitting at a meadow. So, yeah. And I did save some pieces of nature like cedarwood and some flowers, but I did not have adequate preservation techniques, so they did not survive the trip. There was something about Armenia that made me want to slow down and actually pay attention to the landscape, the quiet, the sky, the feeling of being somewhere completely different. I think that will be my core memory. So here's my trusty Intax printer, which I take with me for every journaling page I make. I love being able to print these Polaroids, and then my Canon IV photo printer. This one is especially convenient because it has paper that comes with a sticky side, so I can just peel off and stick it straight to my journal. And here's my stamp pad. I just love stamps. I have a huge collection of silicone and wooden stamps. And here's my trusty stamping date stamp. I don't know what to call this, but let's just call it a date stamper. And it surprisingly needs a serious amount of concentration to change the date. I also have this beautiful rose-colored stamping pad and some journaling papers. Yeah, and the sticky tape. The sticky tape is that one tool that I cannot do journaling without. And then the journaling papers, this one is a beautiful floral rose pattern. I thought it would work really nice with the colors I wanted to use for the cover and the other pages. And of course, I have some decorative stickers. I tried to be very minimal, but I am a stationery girl, so I am going to pull out these extra little cute things like frames and stickers, etc. And then my alphabet stamps, these are just so good. They make everything perfectly aligned and just look so stunning. And here are my pens. This collection started somewhat really innocent. I got a Kaweco pen on a trip to London, just one, and now I somehow have about 12, and I don't know how that happened. So for this journal, I did choose my TWSBI because I have a beautiful oxblood colored ink inside, and it's currently my favorite. And of course, I picked a Kaweco pen because that's how it all started, and I just love writing with that pen. So if you're into journaling and writing diaries, if you get one pen, it is going to expand, trust me. And here I have my washi tapes, another collection that started very innocently, but there is never just buying one when you are a stationery lover. And last but not the least, I have my Tombow markers. I use these for headings, little details, dates, and lettering. And it just looks like you've put a lot of effort in it, and it looks really nice when you absolutely did nothing. So now I'm finally going to start the cover page. I really want to keep this one simple because the journal is A5 and I don't want to crowd the page. And I think over time I realized that my journaling style is actually quite simple. I do like a little decoration here and there, but I want the majority of the page to be mostly writing because for me, writing is where the memory really lives. The photographs show me what happened. The little tidbits will tell me where I went and what I did that day, but the words will remind me what it felt like. So I am starting with this purple decorative paper. It was left over from another, I think, journaling page. And I'm not measuring, I just really like the raw edges, so I'm just tearing it apart. And sometimes you just have to trust the process with journaling. I think my format of journaling is like a little bit of junk journal. So I think you really can do anything and call it artistic. So I'm just sticking the paper down and I'm going to add my boarding pass to that. And I think there's something really satisfying about saving a piece of your journey and then adding it to your journal. It's like you've done a lot. But it does make the journal feel less like a scrapbook and more like a time capsule when you have these little pieces of, your memories. Oh, did I tell you how much I love these sticky tapes? I've used them for the last 2 years, and anything stuck with these tape, just do not budge. And if you're someone who likes sticking big pieces of, stuff, yeah, these sticky tapes are gonna be lifesavers. So I'm just gonna add some washi tape to the page. I think that washi tapes just make everything look pretty like put together and artistic, like you had a lot of thought going into the designing. So that's what I'm doing here. I find journaling very therapeutic, and I just simply love sitting down and taking my time to decorate and do these little things. But there is one tip that I ignored in my initial stages when I began journaling is the size of the journal really does matter. If you're gonna pick a topic for a particular journal and you don't have much to write about it, it can be really off-putting. So I'm glad I went for an A5 for this travel journal. So I'm just adding the date for the day we left for Armenia. I love putting dates into the travel journals or just my regular life journal as well, because years from now, I may not remember the exact date we left, but I'll see this date and I'll suddenly remember the airport, the excitement, the bags, maybe even the scent of everything that happened that day. And I'm gonna use my Tombow pens to write the word Armenia, and I just love this moment. This is the part where everything comes together, and there's something about just writing that name there, like a beginning of your travel, and it's just a really nice feeling. Like this is where it all begins. Armenia will be one of those trips that stays with me a little differently. I think one of my favorite things about it was it felt like the history was just woven into the landscape. And I think what I'll remember most about it is how much space there was, coming from a busy city like Dubai. I think you become so accustomed to the buildings, the traffic, the noise, and the people everywhere. And just sitting in a meadow in Armenia, and suddenly there's just the grass, the mountains, and sky, and you. It just feels so lovely and so freeing to the mind. And finally, I think to finish it all up, we need a photograph. I mean, it is a travel journal, so what it needs is a photograph and on the cover page. I'm printing one on my Intax printer. I love these little Polaroids because they're just not overly perfect. Like it's not like in your face, but they have texture, they're physical, and it's just so cute. And yeah, I'm going to add the date on the photograph, and I think I'm going to leave it on the cover. It just makes everything complete. So cute. And that's where I'm going to stop for today. I still have the entire itinerary to write down, all the places we visited, the little stories behind them. But this is for another day. I think I have been sitting here journaling for quite a while now, and if you have been with me through this entire journey, thank you for watching it as well. It is already really long. It is turning into a documentary right now, and I think the rest of the pages need their own video. And I hope this video felt a little bit like slowing down with a cup of tea. And I'll see you in the next one.